Hey, this is Cass. This is Off the Beaten Track Warehouse, which is where we have our studio. And we are the bottom floor of this warehouse. Hi. Say hi, Ted.
Hi.
Come in, come in. Here's our studio. Here's our studio. We're gonna walk right in, thank you. First thing you see is our gallery. This is our pride and joy. It is the only ceramic gallery in the Washington area. We're still working on it. I'll show you some of the pieces. There's a piece of sculpture. It's a nice plate. There's a big bowl. There's some of the other pieces. This is really pretty porcelain work. These are this is crystalline. I don't know if you can see the crystals in there. They're really amazing. This is sort of a contemporary artist in DC that does very well. Here, these are little raku-fired booties. This is what's called wood fire. Those are actual shells that the piece has been fired on in the wood kiln. And over here, we have some sort of abstract and animalware, and then some bowls. This is very nice. It has a heavy porcelain slip on it. Some other pieces. This is a very old glaze called Temmaku with a slip on top of it. This is a potter who makes really nice figurative pieces. This is another one of his pieces, gorgeous glazes. This is a guy who goes in sort of an opposite direction, does these very fun, ornate pieces. He teaches in Richmond. Then we have our cup shelf. This is a beautiful, that's another porcelain slip over raw clay. She does Japanese type. That's a big tea bowl. That's a wood-fired cup. That's a Shino glazed cup, very interesting. Again, see if there's anything to really zoom in on. This is a piece that my old teacher made, Jill Hinckley. There's some more cups. Over here, some larger objects. Again, some beautiful glazing, some more Jill's work. Beautiful porcelain teapot and a plate. And we have this little wood-fired strainer. Some altered plates. This is something that my roommate at Alfred did. It's another one of those fascinating bowls. Lisa York piece. And over here is a big, beautiful wood-fired vase. You can see all this color all the way around. It is actually wood ash that has, the pot itself is unglazed, that has, over the long firing, turned liquid and become a glaze. Really a neat effect. Okay, starting up here, here's a big sculptural piece called Tree of Life. I like a lot. This is our subversive bunnies. This guy is actually a studio artist now at District Clay. We're very excited to have him. Some more pots. This is an interesting organic wood-fired pot. Another beautiful plate by Jill Hinckley. This is some very nice glazing by a guy at Alexandria Clayworks. Another big black and white bird piece. This is a wonderful glazed vase with, you can see the remnants from the wood fire that are attached at the bottom. It's a bowl by Brian Gross. It's a wonderful slipped with a black slip on top of it, pot with a beautiful green oribe inside by Jane Spalding. And this bright turquoise-ish bowl by John Kerr, one of our teachers. It's another abstract piece by the guy I took class. That was my roommate. Beautiful wood-fired jar by Blair Merrifield, who teaches at the Art League. This is a Hadrian Mendoza piece. We've also made the Tree of Life. And switch over to the non-layer side. This is a wonderful big vase by John Kerr, one of our teachers. This was made by a young 18-year-old student. It's a vase with slip. It painted over it and then scored through. Piece I love by Lindsay Osterreiter. She's a wood fire potter. Very craggy, very fun. It's another piece I like a lot. Brian Grow. He does a lot of abstract stuff on his pieces. Gouging. It's a lot of fun. There's another Brian Grow anthropomorphic piece. This is Harridan, Trish Kiner, a professor at Montgomery College. It's her piece. Another Brian Grow. Let's see if there's anything else. I'm going to show you a couple more. These are beautiful crystalline wood hangings, top big tiles. You see how dramatic the crystalline effect is. That's by Sarah Nikotopoulos. She's the one who did those other pieces. This is a wild and really sculpture that Michael liked very much. These are two beautiful pots by Joyce Michaud, who teaches at Hood College. There's another fantastic crystalline piece. There's a great sculptural piece by John McMillan, who teaches at Mount Airy, Washington. Then we have some more great pieces by Trish Kiner. And finally, we'll end with a big wood-fired platter. Again, you can see the shells that the platter was stacked on by Kevin Crow. Kevin will be doing a workshop with us, a 2-day workshop in April, and he's going to have a 6-week solo exhibition. Okay, let's not forget to show you our friends. We have a big Cape Buffalo right there on one wall of the gallery. Another bull moose at the other end of the gallery room. In this room, if you can see, these pedestals are all on wheels, and this table is on wheels so that we can actually wheel these out to have receptions. This is our hand building area. We got the moose and the Cape buffalo and the ibex, which you'll see later. They were left behind by the owners. This is actually a 48-star flag. It was left behind by the owners that we like very much. And now, we're going to go into our wheel room, which is sort of the heart of it all. We have 18 wheels. It's the most of anyone in the district. These are our clay cubbies where people store their clay. It's a wedging table. Everyone, say hi to Ted.
Hello.
Hi Ted, my dad. I'm showing him the studio. Hi. Okay. This is our recycling area where we take our wet clay and let it dry and then run it through this enormous machine, a pug mill, where it's churned and de-aired and it comes out in pugs. Out of this little baby costs $6,000. Wow! This is our TV, so we can show instructional videos. It's too bad it's not daylight, because you would see that we have this enormous light wall, white clear brick wall, where we get lots of light. That's a drying area. This is what we call our great pots area. And these are pots from Matt and my collection. And they are training pots. So each of them illustrates a different technique that students can learn in their pottery. And each of them is written up with what is unique about them and what techniques the artist uses. We're just going to supplement this. This is very popular with a Creative Cups exhibition, which is waiting to go up. This is our glazing area. These are our new glaze tiles. We now have the most informative glaze tiles of any studio. And basically, what you see is a glaze that's applied over a certain kind of clay, and this is one dip, this is two dips, this is texture using each dip, and this is a double dip, and then this is an oxide wash, so people can see if they use an oxide what it will look like. And then we have the glaze tile, and then we have it in one of our stonewares, another of our stonewares, and another of our stonewares. And sometimes the difference can be quite dramatic. For instance, this is Old Yellow. This is Old Yellow in our darkest stoneware. It's called Dark Brown Laguna, and you'll see it's quite a bit brighter, still showing some brown underneath, but the double dip, it's disappearing. And this is under our lightest stoneware, and you see no brown, it's cream and almost white with the double dip. And then we're going to have a porcelain one, which has not yet been put up. So, moving right along. Mundane, but also will give you an idea of how our classes work. These are, so look down this aisle, these are all student shelves. We have about 160, 170 10-week students. They each get a 12 by 36 single shelf to put their work. Then we have our artists. The first level of artists are called community artists. These are people who get keys to the studio. They pay a little more. They can come and go as they please. But they get two big 24 by 36-inch shelves. We have about 20 community artists. They pay $145 a month. Then we have this next level, which is, you can see down here on the left, everything on the left is what's called our associate artists. And you can see it's, what people get is a table, shelving, chair, and a bulletin board. So it's semi-private, it's a lot more shelf space, and that's $200 a month. And then finally, swinging along, we have what are called our studio artists. Here's one of our studio artists, Dave Easter. They pay $2.90 a square foot. So this 8 by 11 is about $260 a month. We have, I think, 14 associate artists and 15 studio artists. The largest studio we have is actually our best potter. We're excited to have him. His name is Jeff Harity. He specializes in slip cast pottery and does somewhat subversive things with bunnies and angels, which are a lot of fun. And he is also helping us put together our community clay program. And this studio is 12 feet by 20 feet. Again, is our largest studio. I'm going to show you what one of our last construction projects is. This spot. This is going to be our guest resident artist space. We're currently building it out. It's about 15 by 10, and this will be that wall. There's going to be a wall right there. This will be where we invite someone, an emerging artist, to come and work for 3 to 6 months at a time at no fee, but we ask them to work with our other artists and do a workshop, a closing exhibition, and that sort of recharges the sort of creativity in the studio. On a regular basis. Okay, moving right along. So our production system looks like this. When someone has thrown a pot and it's dry, we put it on one of these big shelves called a greenware shelf, and it goes to our kiln room and is fired in the what's called a bisque firing, where it turns hard enough. If you did that with greenware, it would break. So it's hard enough to accept a glaze, or it is porous enough actually to accept a glaze, and then it is refired during a glaze firing at a higher temperature for the glaze to be formed. So right now we have one greenware shelf, 2 bisqueware shelves. People will come to this bisqueware shelf, find their pots, glaze them, and then put them on a glaze shelf. So we have some associate artists, some more studio artists. Got some construction going on. Here we have some open floor plan studios. It's Katie. She's one of our more successful artists. She does a lot of work for restaurants. Beautiful work. These are our 2 electric kilns. We bisque fire in this guy, which we've got got for the studio. Which is actually a very big kiln, very heavy kiln. It's vented out through these vents. But the big mama is our gas reduction kiln. As you can see here, the whole thing. Big steel door. Pots go in there. I've just loaded one half of the kiln. Holds about 200 pots. This is the control mechanism. This is where we turn on the burners. We have two burners that mix the air with them. This is a damper which helps control the airflow as well and to create what's called a reduction atmosphere. So these kilns we have to watch during the entire firing, which is about 8 to 10 hours, and you'll be able to look through them at something called a cone pack, which looks like this. And you'll notice the pink cone in the middle is what we're aiming for. It's called cone 10. At the end of the firing, we want it to look like that, all the way falling down. And preferably this one, cone 11, that's cone 10. This is called a marker cone, it's cone 9. This one is still staying up. So we have an extensive, very expensive venting system because the kiln will get up to 2300 degrees. That's double insulated stainless steel pipe. And that's a draft inducer to make sure that all the harmful, all the air that's seeping out of the kiln is not and stays in the studio. This is some finished ware that we do. So right off to the side of the kiln room is our glaze room. This is where we mix all our glazes. We mix them from dry materials. We have a glaze director and 2 work-study glaze people. This is also where we have a glaze spray booth, which is a different type of finer way of applying glaze. These are the kilns that I'm currently loading. The shells that I'm currently loading into the kiln. Okay. This is our loading dock, which, as you can see, is halfway down the room, where we bring clay in and out of it. That's actually a new piece of equipment, a glaze test kiln that we just got. We're excited. This is where we store our clay. This area is still under construction, as you might be able to tell. This is our new kitchen area, which we have just finished, or almost finished. Very exciting. All the cabinets were donated and the labor was donated. Yeah, that was really a big help. And this is our ceramics library, which has books on just about everything concerning ceramics, from collections to glazes to hand building to techniques to history to tiles to sculpture. So that is the studio in a nutshell. And tomorrow. Okay, just wanted to show you a fully loaded gas kiln. As you can see, we try and get as much into it as we can. We can get the pieces actually quite close to one another because they will shrink during the firing. So that's about 200 pots. We fire the kiln once or twice a week. It's been actually twice a week recently. Okay, so we're putting the kiln to bed. We've lit the pilot light. Yes, that is just a pilot light. The tube above it is a burner, and that's what we will turn on at increasingly higher levels tomorrow morning. Pilot light will go on, actually two of them, will run all night long. We'll bring the temperature of the kiln up to around 675 to 700. And then we'll start, which is actually a nice, easy bake for the pots. Lets them absorb a lot of what's called heat energy, which I'll talk about tomorrow, or heat mass. So that's it, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm coming in at 12:30 to relieve one of our teachers who's starting the firing at 9:31. Bye.